Hello there. Looks like you've had a long journey, so grab a drink and let me tell you a story. I've heard of Roblox showcase games. On Roblox, there were these games called showcases. These showcase games are not games in the traditional sense. They are games that are like art pieces or art projects made on Roblox to make the vision of the creator a thing. These games were made to show projects and art that people made using the Roblox engine and platform. And these games also took many forms, from small little rooms in a house to a massive world that would guarantee your potato PC to blow up in less than 10 seconds. And today, we'll be talking about two varieties of these games: the showcase games and the social showcase games, and talk about what they are, some examples, and get into the reason why I called them Dead Before Arrival in the title. So let's get into it. The showcase games are games that have no goal. They are games that only have a map or a model created for you to see. These games have always been on the platform, but as of 3 years ago, they began getting attention from more popular creators, and the most prominent being Kaneko Kitten, who made several videos showing these games. However, while these videos did bring attention to them, many of them, even back then, didn't really take off. One of the main issues with these were the heavy graphics that they had. As Roblox began to improve their graphics, many of these games followed suit, using the graphics to their advantage. However, a big issue with that is many players on Roblox, particularly kids, probably are playing Roblox on iPads or lower-end computers, and these computers and iPads can't really run the graphics or even be able to enter the game due to the requirement of a higher-end computer, which is due to the heavy graphic usage that the games have. Due to this, showcases are restricted in their player base, as they can't be very accessible to everyone. And sadly, it doesn't get better. Because of these graphics, they eventually face low player counts or just have no one playing them, which means that they don't get recommended and eventually forgotten or just simply never viewed. It's kind of sad seeing someone's dedication be put into making such art and have no one view it, but at the same time, I don't think they would be eager to tarnish their work by making it less graphically enticing or beautiful, or sacrifice key aspects of its design for more accessibility and popularity. Due to these reasons, many of these games died out before they could even thrive. Despite videos that shed some light on these games being fairly popular, the aforementioned issues with hardware and graphic limitations limits the potential audience that could probably play these games. Nowadays, showcase games are more of a past work, as they aren't very common anymore, though some are still being created and many still do exist, with artists and designers putting their work instead from showcase games into other games, or selling their services to people as independent contractors where their work can be featured and become popular. Also, don't get me wrong with the art aspect. I know all maps can have art put into them or can be art pieces, but these are games that at their core are like a painting in a museum. They are meant to be seen, not meant to be played in. So, what about the other games I mentioned, the social showcase games? Well, let's get into them. These games are social games, first and foremost. You've ever been to a cafe, diner, or bar? At least a cafe or diner, because I know most of you guys are very likely under the legal drinking age, but that's what I'm talking about. You might be asking, why are you talking about these games? Well, it's because some of them are showcase games. And here's an example of what would have been a social showcase game. Imagine a beautiful morning. The sun is coming up and you see the cars passing by. You hear the sound of the faint music in the diner or cafe. Maybe it's jazz, maybe it's even pop. And the sound of cars in the distance. It's calm, and in some sense, bliss. These games have what makes a showcase, all these factors, and hence I will call them that. Also, it's my video, and I would like to talk about them. These games are built for you to experience and talk with others, and communicate as if you were in these places for real. Ah, reality. Life is so beautiful. Too bad you don't go anywhere except to your kitchen and back to your room. But that's the thing. It mimicked reality. One of the reasons these games became popular was due to one thing that would take away that reality. A thing that many of us know was quarantine. Because we couldn't go out, we couldn't see friends, we couldn't enjoy a coffee in our favorite cafe or order breakfast in a diner on a beautiful morning of the weekend. No, that was all taken away. So we instead make do on Roblox. There are many games like this, such as the old Diner, Warm Isolation, which is a more recent game, the Garrison, the Double R Bar, though in this case, that is a special case that I won't really get into, Diner, and the list goes on. However, you can kind of start to see why these games began to die out. While the reasons are numerous, I decided to talk about the 3 main reasons why I believe they did. The first one is the most obvious. Quarantine ended in many places around the world, and what came back was our ability to go back to these diners and cafes again. And even for games that were set in bars, bars also came back, and people who didn't need a fictional bar or cafe anymore could just go to a real one and talk with friends or socialize there. The second is the rise of other social media sites that could help you communicate with your friends or with others. They've always existed, sure. I mean, Skype is a good example of that, or Facebook, but they definitely became more prominent as the Dark Ages began, particularly Discord. Because of this, it became much easier to keep in touch with friends and be able to meet people in new communities. Just like how it's much easier to join my Discord, which is linked in the description if you're interested. Please join! Anyway, Discord allowed users to be able to avoid the dumb moderation that Roblox has. Also, quick side tangent, Roblox chat moderation sucks. I got banned for a week for saying gay. Just gay. I thought I should mention that because it goes to show how bad the chat system is when it comes to banning you or censoring words. It's terrible. It's just terrible. The third and final reason are games like VR chat and virtual reality being more popular than the Roblox social games. Whilst VR headsets are still expensive, the technology and accessibility of a headset is becoming more common, which makes games like VR chat more popular. Not to mention that the game allows you to move around and interact with others with your own avatar or creation, instead of a Lego character restricted on a computer screen. It becomes an ideal choice to choose VR chat over Roblox social showcase games. Wow, that's a mouthful. It is also due to the heavy promotion of VR chat through streams and videos and all the live streams. Oh my god, there's a bunch of videos talking about how, oh, the bounty hunter retells his story on VR chat. And in all seriousness, these videos definitely contributed to the growth of VR chat, which when compared to Roblox social showcase games, they don't get a lot of coverage or popularity from influencers, even now, where my last source was 3 years ago, and I believe more recently was 1 year ago, showing that these games have particularly not been very popular as of recently and are more of an older game for many people, either it be 3 years ago or 1 year ago, which I believe is the most recent video that has popped up on my recommended, so there you go. So there it is. A lot of these games are still up, both showcase games and social showcase games on Roblox, but seldom will you ever see them reach over 1,000 players, or even 500 for that matter. But people still make these games, and they're beautiful and very creative. It's very sad to see these games not really get the recognition they deserve, but that's really about it. There's no real happy ending. I guess play Warm Isolation or some of the showcase games to show them some love. But beyond that, they are not really going to be popular for much longer. And whilst people may still make them, there isn't really a big audience for them. And that's why they will typically die out. Well, I had fun here. I hope you had a good day. Sorry for the sad note on this, but just know that I believe many of the creators and developers are very talented and are likely using their talents to make other games, or even being contracted to do maps for games like Nico's Nextbots, which, you know, despite what I said on my last video, you should check that one out too. Despite what I said on my last video, I do really enjoy the map designs of Nico's Nextbots. I think they're very creative. So hey, not everything's bad, but I hope you had a good day, and I'm gonna probably head home. Till then, I'm Top Hat King, and bye-bye.